Billy Beige here. Wednesday, July 2nd at 8 p.m. Eastern. Make sure to tune into the Four Horsemen Studios YouTube channel for the official reveal of the Horror of Einsamall wave. But until then, let's go over what we know for sure from the teaser and what could be coming. When is this? From the teaser, this is after the Second Great War, which ended the rise of the Dark Four. So this wave is another story for Zhu, Shu, XUE, the master of record, to record. I really can't wait till we get the books Jeremy and Eric have been working on and we can really have a complete fleshed out timeline because till it's in a book, it's not canon and it can be revised and rewritten and stuff like that. Ha ha ha. How big of a wave is this going to be? Well, Ashes of Agbendor was 9 figures, and I don't think this will be any larger. We haven't had a large number of mythic figures this year, but come on, I'm still paying on a dragon. The teaser says a small party was sent out by the Castle of the Four Sides. Maybe 4 or 5 heroic characters from each of the OG heroic factions to make a balanced party, is what I'm thinking. And let's go from like a figure and also like a toy idea wise here, maybe a couple like Kai Pacha from Ashes of Agbendor that you can army build into groups from just like head swaps and stuff. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen. And then you can just pick up, like, like for Kai Pacha, you could pick him up and he had like a head swaps for his other 3 members of his group, so you can make the whole group there. That's what I'm thinking. And then I'm betting 2 to 3 monsters. And that's with all caps monsters. Where is this? From the teaser, the area is Einsamall, which I was told, and in one of the comments, Old Norse for alone, in solitude, all on one zone. So it does that isolation, that creepiness there. It makes me think of The Thing. I would love it if this was some sort of thing that they were dealing with. If it turns out to be a thing where it's a pop and swap nightmare, I'd love it. But we'll get down into those ideas later. But Einsamall is in the northern portion of Mythos, in the BFE of northern Mythos, basically, beyond where even Vikenfell and Sjelgard, whatever Ragnar was guarding before Alithia took the Soul Spiller back. Um, Townsfolk are getting slaughtered in the night, torn apart, and the pieces found days later across the landscapes. Hunters can't find it, and it comes every few nights. So it's kind of like, what's going on here? What could the horror be? Okay, some people are saying polar bear, and as much as I'd love that, because one, I love polar bears. Two, it would be cool and on brand and kind of like be like one of those nods to the Terror if you've seen the show or read the book. But I don't think it'd be reuse of Bodvar yet, because like we haven't got Bodvar in hand yet, and it's a large figure. It's a lot of tooling, and I think we would get him before we'd get reuse of him. Some say werewolf, which I'd love as well, but as far as we know, Reign of Beasts, uh, the Cackler is what would be the perfect like werewolf figure there, and it's still in pre-production, and we have like Rising Suns, we got other stuff in front of there before we get to the Reign of the Beasts. So I don't think that's ready for that, but that'd be the body that I would take a Mythic Legions werewolf on, and that's the only one I want. I want all that like double knees, double elbows, butterflies, etc. for their first step into werewolves there. Also, articulation's coming, guys. Uh, Now, what do I think we will see for the horror undead parts? Maybe I'd love to see the undead builder pieces or another version of remnants uh, for the remnants, or as a scattered bits, etc. It's like, oh, they're scattered around the landscape. I'd love if they used the undead builder parts there, because the way they communicated this was through like letters, the mail, whatever. Uh, so it's been some time. So you'd probably come across something that was like grisly, some, but as grisly as legions get, because with legions, we're never getting red gore. We're never getting super, super gory. I think the undead builder is like the peak on that, and also like the headless horseman, like cut neck. That is tops of what we're probably ever going to get for a long time, because they want it to be accessible to collectors of all ages, and that's you know what it is, but it's not scary, that kind of thing there. Um, Now, but this is a wide guess here, since it claims this will open a monstrous new chapter in Mythos. The most recent thing that I remember that was monstrous and not vaguely human, the skate back body from Cosmic Legions. Now, I don't think it'd be a repaint, but I think it'd possibly use that main body with different keyed up pieces on it. Something going on that makes it just open this new chapter of monsters there. And I know they can do it. I know they have, where they have like a ton of stuff that's tooled. We have where they have the, like, from one wave to another. We had the Ox crew, like wave one, that had the skate back, and wave two had Bungee, which is also a skate back, and basically the same kind of body, most of the same parts, but it has other keyed parts on there. There's nothing that says they didn't key anything else to go in with that, tool anything to go with that, to have where it goes with those parts to make something monstrous. And I think it's possible there. Um, there's also the Greyborns and Spexians, but they kind of, like, I don't know exactly. I don't know if we'd go from undead in the north to elongated bug people. I mean, like, we have the new Ganesha body, and there's a lot of monstrous potential to that, just to the size. We have the brute scale now. Maybe there's stuff that we haven't seen from that, possibly. But I really want this to be monstrous. So I'm still holding my expectations as much as I can, but I want it to be awesome. And yes, I'd love a Yeti, a Bigfoot. Some people even said harpies. Jordan, I didn't forget you said harpies. Some sort of ice drake or kobold. But it kind of lines up that the two Ox Crew waves that would be right where we could see the parts reuse would be kind of there to be, ready for a mythic twist. But tell me what you think down in the comments below. What monster is terrorizing Einsamall? Einsamall? Yeah, Einsamall. What figures do you want to see? What races? Dwarves, goblins, angels? Tell me in the comments below. Let's find out Wednesday night and see what horrors are revealed. Later, guys.